Have you ever wondered how the Pathfinder ministry got started, or how the ministry became known as Pathfinders? In the spirit of the Oshkosh International Camporee, David Trim explains the origins of Pathfinders.
The origins of Pathfinders lie in the creation of missionary volunteer societies in 1907. They were the concept of Flora Plummer, director of the General Conference Sabbath School Department, and Milton Kern, the first youth director for the World Church. Junior Missionary Volunteer, or JMV, societies were added in 1909. The idea of local clubs doing outdoor activities was advocated in 1922 by Arthur W. Spaulding, Director of Family Ministries at the General Conference, who in 1919 had started a small group of what he called mission scouts for the youth of his home church. The first campout by junior missionary volunteers was at Town Line Lake, Michigan in 1926, and at some point in late 1927 or early 28, the term Pathfinder was first used, probably by John McKim, youth leader of the Southeastern California Conference. By 1931, the structure of classes for pre-JMVs, or adventurers as they are now called, and for Pathfinders was in place. From Busy Bee through what was then called Master Comrade, but since 1951 has been called Master Guide. Pathfinder clubs began to spring up across the North American division, and in the late 1940s, the Pathfinder emblem, flag, and song were all created. In 1950, the General Conference authorized Pathfinder clubs for the world field, with Lawrence Skinner, the first World Pathfinder Director. Now, the first clubs in Australia and New Zealand had already been founded by enthusiasts in the late 1940s, but with official authorization, the concept began to spread around the world. It adapted to local circumstances and languages. For example, in Brazil, Pathfinders were called Desbravadores. In Spanish-speaking America, they became Conquistadores. But always the core concepts were preserved: learning crafts, healthy and wholesome activities in the outdoors, and spiritual development. Today, Pathfindering is truly international. Only one of the 5 world directors since 1970 has been an American, the others coming from Brazil, South Africa, Australia, and Spain. Meanwhile, though, new features had been developed in North America. The first Pathfinder Fair was held in September 1951, and the first Camporee in May 1954, both in California. And gradually these innovations also spread worldwide. For example, this rare movie footage is of the first Pathfinder Fair in New Zealand, organized by John Trim in 1963 in Christchurch. Some things have changed. For example, there are few, if any, places where girls still have white gloves as part of their uniforms. But there are remarkable continuities. Tent pitching, fire making, and knot tying all remain typical parts of the Pathfinder experience. The first North American division camporee was in 1985 in Colorado. The third such camporee in 1994 became international, and the fourth in 1999 was the first held in Oshkosh. The international camporee, held every 5 years, has grown from strength to strength. Youth leaders and Pathfinders across North America and the globe look forward to it, plan for it, and fundraise so they can go to Oshkosh. The vision of Flora Plummer, Milton Kern, Arthur Spaulding, Lawrence Skinner, and others continues to inspire Adventists of all ages around the world, shaping young lives for service to our Lord Jesus.